On the Wake Up Radio presents The Hour.
You must remember, the enemy has only images and illusions, behind which he hides his true motives. Destroy the image, and it will break the enemy. The it that you refer to is a powerful weapon.
What is life? It's a story we tell ourselves. And every story needs a beginning. Your imagined suffering makes you lifelike.
Lifelike, but not alive. Pain only exists in the mind. It's always imagined. So what's the difference between my pain and yours?
Welcome to On the Wake Up Radio. I'm your hostess, Cindy, and this is The Hour. Shout out to Around the Boards. Check us out, www.onthewakeupradio.com. Subscribe to our YouTube, SoundCloud, Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, and now on Spotify at On the Wake Up Radio. Also check out our Gas Chamber USA hats. Support us, please. Check out the free PDFs we have. Those of you who truly appreciate declassified documents along with reading material will be happy at our ever-growing selections. Thanks to Brother Cam. Also, donate, please. $2, $5, or any amount. $100,000. Go ahead. Throw it at us. Which will go to website and or airtime. It's a labor of love, but we still live in a costly world. If you appreciate the free content, please help us to keep the message uncensored and free. You can donate through PayPal at onthewakeupradio@gmail.com. Also, if you would like an advertisement slot, please hit us up at onthewakeupradio@gmail.com. Help a girl out. Tonight, I dedicate this to all of you who feel isolated and feel like you don't belong here. But you do. You do, baby. You do. Let's talk about past lives. What if I told you that you were here before? We all have past lives. There's no such thing as a new soul. All of us have been reincarnating for millions of years. And in truth, there's no death, only that of the body. You see, death is a myth. You will never die, only in these meat suits. The same ones our overlords rule over in our quest to fill the empty voids we call fucking life. If you've ever wondered why you have a fear of heights or look into the eyes of a stranger and feel as if you know them, the answer may be found in your past lives. There's a author, Brian Weiss. He has a book called Miracle Happens. It was an article I was checking out in the HuffPost. June Podorzik had read. It's called 4 Signs You May Have Had a Past Life. 1, that old familiar feeling through past life regression. That same doctor I just said that wrote the book. He says it's possible to heal and grow your mind, body, and soul, as well as strengthen your present-day relationships. He also says one of the most common signs of past life is deja vu. The sensation that you have met a person before, or have visited someplace previously. Sometimes this deja vu feeling is a sign of a past life with a particular person or in a specific place. One of his patients kept having anxiety attacks while on her honeymoon in Greece. When she and her husband left for Rome, the anxiety attacks completely disappeared when she went and saw him as a patient. And they did a past life regression thing and found that she had been killed in ancient Greece. Her anxiety attacks stemmed from that lifetime, even though she did not know why at the time. Number 2, your dreams are so real, it's like you're actually there. Do you have vivid, detailed dreams of yourself in different times and places? That might be a past life memory emerging. Past life recollections aren't always actual memories. They may also contain symbols and metaphors and need to be interpreted so that their meaning and message can become clear. These symbols are no less powerful than literal ones. Think of these past life scenes more as a poem than a history text. 3, you got an A in history without even trying. Talents and abilities, likes and dislikes, and attractions and aversions can also be clues to past lives. You might feel yourself being drawn to certain people or to certain cultures, even if you've never visited them. You might find you are able to learn certain subjects or prepare for a profession more easily than others. For example, a particular foreign language might come quicker to you, while others are more difficult. Or you may have an intense interest in certain historical times or events, such as ancient Egypt or the Civil War period. 4, you have a soulmate. It is very common to travel through different lives with the same group of souls. This is called groupings. Soulmates or soul companions or soul families. We seem to learn our spiritual lessons and accumulate or resolve our karma with our soul groups. Relationships may change from life to life, but the souls are the same. For example, your grandmother might reincarnate as your grandson. In this sense, we never lose our loved ones because we are always being reunited, either on the other side or back here in the physical bodies. In that book I was telling you about, the dude wrote, The Miracle Happens, it describes many cases of soul recognition. In case, Michelle, whose mother died when Michelle was a small child, was comforted to find that she and her mother were together in the Middle Ages. Guess what? They were husband and wife at that time. Yo, can't make this shit up. I know that if I was married to my mother in a past life and we was husband and wife, we got divorced. I'm just saying. That woman is crazy. Nah, I love her. I love her, just in case she hears this. You and your BFF can easily pick up where you left off. Some friendships can last a lifetime. Let me tell you, it's amazing to have a best fucking friend. If you haven't, fuck. Hold up. I shouldn't have said that. It's fucked up. I shouldn't have said that. But no, it's dope to have someone to connect to, you know? Even if you don't hear from a friend in years, but somehow find a way to reconnect, that could mean there's a past life connection. If you find that time and distance does not alter your bond with your best friend. So like the internet, social media, you can find people easily. That is, if they want to be found. If they don't want you to find them, perhaps your karma with them is complete in this lifetime. So don't feel crazy if you can't find somebody. It's complete. It's complete. There was a guy at my job that when he was in his 20s, he met this woman. I want to call her a cougar because he told me she was like 60. And he said she used to take him to like fly him all over. They go to Paris, Greece. He was on yachts, private planes. And she wanted to be with him, but she was like 1,000 years older than him. And so basically, he kind of like didn't want that life. Like, you know, he was like, oh, you know, I need to find somebody younger because his family kept telling him that. And he was just like, he just told her, nah, we're done. And he got married to his bitch of a wife. He can't stand her. But he now thinks about this woman. And it's crazy because he's like in his like fucking, I want to say he's in 40s, 50s. And he's like, I was trying to look for her on Facebook. And I'm like, dude, she's like now she's like 2,000 years old. Like, I wasn't trying to call her granny. But I was like, you're not going to find her. Let it go. You're finished. Maybe next lifetime. You know? Maybe take the deal next time, right? Don't, you know? Yeah, so. So that was my thing on psychic. I said psychic. As, you know, as psychics say, past lives. But for the most part, they say that psychics say past life connections are easy to spot because of that feeling of knowing you get when you meet them. So if you feel like you've met someone before, you probably have. Let's get into another topic. Let's talk about making love and orgasms. You guys, y'all know I like to talk about sex, right? Yeah, because like I'm so fascinated. I am, but with chemistry and just how we interact with each other. You know, sex magic. They say how to cast a spell with your orgasm. Ooh. Since time, witches have been harnessing their sexual energy to do magic. One practice of sex magic is using the energy of sexual arousal or orgasms with visualization of a desired result. A premises posted by Sex Magician is the concept that sexual energy is a potent force that can be harnessed to transcend one's normally perceived reality. The earliest known practical teaching of sex magic in Western world, I ain't going back. I ain't, I ain't doing that. I'm going to stay right here. It comes from the 19th century American occultist Pascal Beverly Randolph under the heading of the Mysteries of Ulysses. If a man has an intelligent and loving wife, this is Pascal talking now. If a man has an intelligent and loving wife with whom he is in complete accord, he can work out the problems of how to achieve magical results by her aid. They is a prayer in all cases and the most powerful that earthly being can employ. It is best for both man and wife to act together for the attainment of the mysterious objects sought. Success in any case requires the agency of a superior woman. This is the law. A harlot or low woman is useless for all such lofty and holy purposes. Just so is a bad, impure, passion-driven apology for a man. The woman shall not be one who accepts rewards for compliance, nor a virgin, or under 18 years of age, or another wife, yet must be one who hath known man, and who has been and still is capable of intense mental, volitional, and affectional energy combined with perfect sexive and orgasmal ability, for it requires a double crisis to succeed. The entire mystery can be given in very few words, and they are an upper room, absolute personal, mental, and moral cleanliness, both of the man and wife, and observance of the law just cited during the entire term of the experiment. 49 days. Formulate the desire. Keep it in your mind during the whole period, and especially when making the nuptive prayer, during which no word may be spoken, but the thing desired strongly thought. Isn't that beautiful? You got another person, Ida Craddock. She wrote something called The Wedding Night and the Right Marital Living. Here's an excerpt. Do not upon any account use the hand for the purpose of sexual excitation at the bride's genitals. There is but one lawful finger of love with which to approach her genitals. This is the male organ. Even where there is a hymen whose orifice requires to be gradually enlarged in order to effect a painless entrance, the male organ and not the finger should be employed, lest a masturbative response be set in the bride at the outset, which would be more. Bear in mind that more gentle, slow, and lingering your entrance, the more passionate will be the response of the bride. Also, the more readily will you yourself attain to the sexual self-control in my right marital living. As to the clitoris, this should be simply saluted. I'll say that again. As to the clitoris, this should be simply saluted, at most in passing, afterwards ignored as far as possible, for the reason that it is rudimentary male. It's like a rudimentary male organ, and an orgasm aroused there evokes a rudimentary male magnetism in the woman, which appears to pervert the act of intercourse, with the results of sensualizing and coercing the woman within the duller tract of the vagina. After a half an hour, or still better, an hour of tender, gentle, self-restrained coition, the feminine, womanly, maternal sensibilities of the bride will be aroused, and the magnetism exchanged then will be healthful and satisfying to both parties. A woman's orgasm is as important for her health as a man is for his. I would repeat that, but I know y'all heard me. And the bridegroom who hastens through the act without giving the bride the necessary half hour or hour to come to her own climax is not only acting selfishly, he is also sowing the seeds of future ill health and permanent invalidism in his wife. I probably fucked up that word. Let me tell you something about Ida. Ida was born on August 1st, 1857. She wrote that. She was an advocate of free speech, women's right. In her 30s, Craddock, who was Quaker, was like, fuck that shit. I'm leaving it all behind. This is boring, right? She developed an academic interest in the occult through her association with the Theosophical Society. Beginning around 1887, she tried in her writing to synthesize translated mystic literature and traditions from many cultures into a scholarly distilled whole. As a free thinker, she was secretary of Philadelphia chapter of the American Secular Union in 1889, member of Unitarian faith. She became a student of religious eroticism. Where is that Bible and how can I get my hands on it? And she declared herself a priestess and pastor of the Church of Yoga. Yes, the Church of Yoga. She never married. She claimed to have a blissful, ongoing marital relationship with an angel named Soph. Craddock even stated that her intercourse with Soph was so noisy as to draw complaints from her neighbors. Her mother wasn't happy with this. Her mother would tell her, I'm going to burn your shit. I'm going to burn your shit. You're crazy. But Craddock moved to Chicago, opened a Dearborn Street office offering mystical sexual counseling to married couples via both walk-in counseling and mail order. She dedicated herself to preventing sexual evils and suffering by educating adults, achieving national notoriety with her editorials in defense of something called Little Egypt and her controversial belly dancing act at a World's Columbian Exposition held in Chicago during 1893. Craddock wrote many serious and structural tracts on human sexuality and appropriate, respectful sexual relations between husband and wife. Among her works were Heavenly Bridegrooms, Psychic Wedlocks, Spiritual Joys, Letter to a Prospective Bride, The Wedding Night, and The Right Marital Living, which I read a piece for y'all. Aleister Crowley actually loved her Heavenly Bridegrooms, and he was like, he had to write something on it. He was like, this is a must. Like, if you're going to do sex magic, you got to know who this fucking bitch is. Nah, he didn't say that, but it was like, it's Aleister, you know, he's kind of out there. Mass distribution of Right Marital Living throughout the U.S. mail after its publication as featured article in a medical journal in the Chicago Clinic led to an 1899 Chicago federal indictment of Craddock. She pled guilty and received a suspended sentence, a subsequent 1902 New York federal trial on charges of sending the wedding night through the mail during a sting operation, ending with her conviction. She refused to plead insanity as a condition to avoid prison time, to avoid prison time, and was sentenced to 3 months in prison, much of which she served at Blackwell's Island Workhouse. Upon her release, this motherfucker named Anthony Comstock immediately rearrested the bitch on violation of federal Comstock law. Yes, he had a law named after him. Pompous bastard. And on October 10th, she was tried and convicted. The judge declared that the wedding night was so obscene, lewd, lascivious, dirty, that the jury should not be allowed to see it during the trial. At age 45, she saw her 5-year sentence as a light term, and so she committed suicide by slashing her wrists and inhaling natural gas from the oven in her apartment on October 16, 1902, the day before reporting to federal prison. She penned a private final letter to her mother, as well as a lengthy public suicide note condemning Comstock, her personal nemesis. Comstock first opposed Craddock almost a decade before over the Little Egypt Act and the whole belly dancing thing. He had sponsored the Comstock Act under which she was reportedly charged. Let's talk about Anthony for a little bit. Comstock. This is so opposite of someone who is sexually aroused. He's just like, ugh. He was born March 7th, 1844. He was the United States Postal Inspector and a politician. He believed in Victorian morality. Yes, the term Comstockery and Comstockism was used for his extensive campaign to censor materials he considered indecent and obscene, such as birth control information. We living in different times, people. Y'all wouldn't even made it. So he was born in Connecticut. How unfortunate. I'm sorry. Connecticut's a nice place. I have family there. He was a young man. He enlisted and fought for the Union in the American Civil War from 1863 to 1865 in Company H, 17th Connecticut Infantry. He served without incident, but objected to the profanity used by his fellow soldiers. This dude was fun. Fucking fun, okay? Afterwards, he became an active worker in the Young Men's Christian Association. Y'all know what that is, y'all. YMCA, blah, 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 because I don't know the rest of the words. But this was in New York City. He was in it. He later moved to New Jersey and built a house. His whole thing was about censorship. He worked hard at censoring anybody and everybody, even Christian, religious. Yeah. You're probably like, no, that's so different. No, let me tell you. Comstock aroused intense loathing from early civil liberties groups and strong support from church-based groups worried about public morals. Comstock, the self-styled weeder in the God's Garden, arrested A. D.M. Bennett for publishing his An Open Letter to Jesus Christ, and later had editor charged for mailing a free love pamphlet. Bennett was prosecuted, subjected to widely publicized trials, and imprisoned in Albany Penitentiary. During his career, Comstock clashed with Emma Goldman and Margaret Sanger, the baby killer. Yes, her. In her autobiography, Goldman referred to Comstock as the leader of America's moral eunuchs. Comstock had numerous enemies, and in later years, his health was affected by a severe blow to the head from an anonymous attacker. He lectured to college audience and wrote newspaper articles to sustain his causes. Yeah, but before his death, Comstock attracted an interest of a young law student. Guess who that person was? J. Edgar Hoover, who was interested in his causes and methods. Henceforth, your wonderful motherfucking FBI. But that is for another fucking show, y'all. That is for another show. Comstock in 1873 created the New York Society for the Suppression of Vice, an institution dedicated to supervising the morality of the public. He is our community guidelines of Instagram, guys, of Facebook. That's who this guy is. He's probably still alive. Fuck. Later that year, Comstock successfully influenced the United States Congress to pass the Comstock Law, because you're going to name that shit after yourself, right? What a pompous asshole. Which made illegal the delivery by U.S. mail or by other modes of transportation of obscene, lewd, or lascivious material. Lascivious. Yeah, I said that right. As well as prohibiting any methods of production or publication of information pertaining to the procurement of abortion, the prevention of conception, and the prevention of venereal disease, because he felt like you didn't need to know those things. Those things are disgusting. You don't need to know. Shit's on fire. Fucking deal with it. Put it out. He felt like you didn't need to learn how to know anything. Let me tell you how far he went. During his time of greatest power, even some anatomy textbooks were prohibited from being sent to medical students by the United States Postal Service. Yes, doctors were not allowed to look at the human body in a book, because it's disgusting, Comstock would say. They say he was a political, savvy insider in New York City, and he was made a special agent of the United States Postal Service with police powers, including the right to carry a weapon. With this power, he zealously prosecuted everyone. Everyone. When I say everyone, I mean anything to do with pornography or commercial fraud. He was also involved in shutting down the Louisiana lottery, which was the only legal lottery in the United States at the time. But it was notorious for its corruption. Kind of like now. You know how like lottery's supposed to go to education? I don't know. Have you seen any new books, y'all? Oh, okay. He was into opposing women's rights. He was like, no, fuck those bitches. No, they don't deserve anything. Comstock rules, right? He actually got into it with suffragists like Victoria Woodhull and Tennessee Celeste Claflin and those associated with them. The men's journal, The Day's Doing, had popularized images of the sisters for 3 years and was instructed by him to stop producing lewd images. Comstock also took legal action against the paper for advertising contraceptives. When the sisters published an expose of an adulterous affair between Reverend Henry Ward Beecher and Elizabeth Tilton, he had the sisters arrested under laws forbidding the use of postal service to distribute obscene material, specifically citing a mangled biblical quote. Yeah. They didn't even put it because he fucked up. Everything was obscene to this dude. They were acquitted, of course. Well, not everybody, but they were acquitted. Less fortunate was Ida, right? Ida committed suicide on the eve of reporting to the federal prison for distributing through the U.S. mail very sexually explicit marriage manuals she had authored. Her final work was a lengthy public suicide note. We talked about that, right? He also, a prominent abortionist, Madame Restel, was also arrested by Comstock in 1878. He posed as a customer seeking birth control for his wife. Talk about entrapment. Restel provided him with pills, and he returned the next day with the police and arrested her. She commits suicide the next morning. He was into destruction of books. Oh, move over, Nazi. This motherfucker right here in New York City was like, nah, fuck that, we burning shit. Through his various campaigns, because he was proud of this, he destroyed 15 tons of books, 284,000 pounds of plates for printing objectionable books, and nearly 4 million pictures. He claimed that books are feeders for brothels. Hallelujah. Comstock boasted that he was responsible for 4,000 arrests and claimed that he drove 15 persons to suicide in his fight for the young. This motherfucker's proud that he drove 15 persons to their suicide. What a piece of shit. His legacy was the term Comstockery, meaning censorship because of the perceived obscenity of immorality, was coined in an editorial in the New York Times in 1895. He had some beef with some dude named George Bernard Shaw, blah, 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 yeah. So, yeah, piece of work it was. This guy goes down in history. Every time I learn about somebody, it goes, wow, that person was a dick. And then I learn about somebody, I was like, no, he was a bigger dick. No, not even a bigger dick. He was a smaller dick. Like, insignificant, but fucked up, you know? I can't imagine what his real childhood was like. Probably was like, nah, boo-boo. They probably made fun of him a lot. I don't even feel bad for him. You have Arnold Krumheller. According to Samuel Onwar, Arnold Krumheller taught sexual magic without ejaculation. That's not where it's from, but for the Western, for the fact that it's here. Maria de Nogolosk, because it's like a lot of fucking, eyes are missing and shit. So I can't even, She was born in 1883. Was a Russian occultist, mystic, author, and journalist who wrote and taught about sexual magic ritual practice while also being linked with the Parisian Surrealist movement. She established and led an occult society known as, I'm not about to speak French because I don't know it, but I'll give you the English version, Brotherhood of the Golden Arrow. In Paris from 1932 to 35. That's when she wrote that. In 31, she compiled translation and published in French a collection of published and unpublished writing by American occultist Pascal Beverly Randolph on the subject of sexual magic and magic mirrors. Her translation and publication of Randolph's previously little-known ideas and teaching was source of Randolph's subsequent influences in European magic. Yeah, she augmented his text, yada yada. She wrote the Sacred Ritual of Magical Love. She wrote something called The Light of Sex, a mystic treatise and guide to sexual ritual that was required reading for those seeking to be initiated into the Brotherhood of the Golden Arrow. Her later book, In Advanced Sexual Magic, The Hanging Mystery, details her advanced teaching on the third term of the Trinity and the spirituality transformative power of sex and the practice of erotic ritual hanging and other sensory deprivation practices beyond occult subjects. She influenced the Surrealist art movement. So, y'all know what erotic asphyxiation is, but fucking humor me. I'm going to humor y'all. Yeah. And it is breath uncontrolled play. Hypixphilia is the intentional restriction of oxygen to the brain for the purpose of sexual arousal. The term autoerotic asphyxiation is used when the act is done by a person to him or herself. A person engaged in the activity is sometimes called a gasper. I'm playing. The erotic interest in asphyxiation is classified as a paraphilia in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of the American Psychiatric Association. So, let's see. Let's do a breakdown what happened. So, in the physiology, right? The carotid arteries on either side of your neck. Don't do this, please. Please. on either sides of your necks carry oxygen, rich blood from the heart to the brain. When these are compressed, as in strangulation or hanging, the sudden loss of oxygen to brain and the accumulation of carbon dioxide can increase feeling of giddiness, lightheadedness, and pleasure, all of which will heighten masturbatory sensation. Author George Schumann describes the effects such as when the brain is deprived of oxygen, it induces a lucid semi-hallucinogenic state called hysphoxia, combined with orgasm. The rush is said to be no less powerful than cocaine and highly addictive. For all you cocaine lovers out there, there's something else you can do besides take coke. But don't do this. Enjoy your coke and have a smile. Concerning hallucinogenic states brought about by chronic hysphoxia, Dr. Lloyd notes that they may be similar to hallucinations experienced by climbers at altitude. He further notes that no such state occurs in hysphyxia, brought about by sudden aircraft decompression altitudes. These findings suggest to him that they do not arrive purely from a lack of oxygen. Upon examining the studies on hysphyxia, I could be murdering that word, but hyphox, I sound insane. He found that abnormalities in the cerebral neurochemistry involving one or more of the interconnected. So you have your neurotransmitters, your dopamine, your serotonin, and your beta endorphin had been reported in all the conditions associated with hallucinations. So someone named Peter Anthony, he was an English author, playwright, translator and editor of Gentleman's Journal. He was the first English magazine from 1692 to 1694. He died from an apparent autoerotic asphyxiation in 1718, which is probably the first recorded case. Sada Abe killed her lover, Kisnos Ishada, I could be murdering that, but it's okay because he's dead, through strangulation while he was sleeping. After having experimented with erotic asphyxiation in 1936, proceeding to cut off his penis and testicles and carrying them around with her in her handbag for a number of days. Move over, Lorena Bobbitt, you're not the first. The case caused a sensation in 1930s Japan and has remained one of the most famous Japanese murder cases of all time. In 1996, David Carradine, the dude from Kung Fu. Yes. If y'all know who he is. Y'all probably know. He died on June 4, 2009 from accidental asphyxiation. According to the medical examiner who performed a private autopsy on the actor, his body was found hanging by a rope in a closet in his room in Thailand, and there was evidence of a recent orgasm. 2 autopsies were conducted and concluded that his death was not suicide, and the Thai forensic pathologist who examined the body stated that his death may have been due to autoerotic asphyxia. His wives, which I'll have to, because I kind of wrote this shit fucking twice, because I'll be doing so much sometimes. His wives, let's talk how his wives. Yeah, he was naked, robe, closet. They thought it was suicide. Yada, yada. Okay, so 2 of Carradine's former wives, Gail and Jensen, and Marina Anderson, stated publicly that his sexual interests include the practice of self-bondage. The Kung Fu Master dude, yes, that dude, Anderson, who had plans to publish a tell-all book about her marriage to the Kung Fu dude, said in an interview with Access Hollywood that Comstock would probably say is disgusting. There was a dark side to David. There was a very intense side to David. People around him know that. Previously, in his divorce filings, she had claimed that it was the continuation of a deviant sexual behavior, which was potentially deadly. And then we have other people who did hangings. Now, I'm going to go there. Whether it's too soon or not, I don't care. Robin Williams, right? Chester Bennington, right? Because I found a list that of 645 famous fucking people, celebrities, serial killers, revolutionary individuals, top military officials. So these were a few names. Saddam Hussein. Now Saddam was hanged on the first of like a holy thing, which was like kind of really fucked up because he knew he was going to be executed. And he was like, okay, y'all about to kill me. Execute me by firing squad, which he argued was the lawful military capital punishment citing for his military position as the commander-in-chief of the Iraqi military. These motherfuckers decided to hang him. Yeah. I'm going to get to why I'm hanging on the hanging. Hanging on the hanging. Chris Cornell, right? That was another one. Kate Spade. That was another one. Scarf and shit, y'all. Scarf and shit. In the bathroom, doorknob. I can't even imagine it. Anthony Bourdain. They even had Nat Turner on the list. Say he didn't do it to himself. They did it to him. Now, let me tell you why I'm talking about this, right? Because before I get to that, let me tell you historically what the practice of autoerotic asphyxiation has been documented since the early 1700s. It was first used as a treatment for erectile dysfunction, y'all. Y'all heard me? It was a treatment for erectile dysfunction. The idea for this most likely came from the subject who was executed by hanging. Observers of public hangings noted that the male victims developed an erection, sometimes remaining after death. A death erection, y'all. And occasionally ejaculated when being hanged. However, post-mortem ejaculation occurs in hanging victims after death because of decimated muscle relaxation. This is a different mechanism from the sought by autoerotic asphyxiation practitioners. I don't know if y'all can hear me. I don't know if y'all can hear me. The reason for a hanging is to make your dick hard. That's what it's going to do. Each and every time. Every time you hang a woman, she's going to have an orgasm. I want y'all to think about that. Think about how many have been lynched. Too many. But what I'm trying to understand was the need to, when they would take a man's genitals and put it in a pickle jar. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about, those lynchings, right? Because those people who were hanged never made the 645 famous people list at all. These are people that we'll never know. These are ancestors that are gone, that someone didn't like because they're uppity nigger. You hang a man, he gets hard, and he ejaculates. Why would this be a thing for the Klan? Like, do you know how fucking gay that sounds? No fucking disrespect to gay people, but do you know how fucked up this shit sounds? Like, this is your choice? And now I know what I know, and there is nothing moist about it. I'm gonna tell you. I'm all dried up. Ugh. Knowing it causes orgasms and releases of fluids. Well, I'm not going to stay on that much longer. Just wanted to let y'all know. Somebody hangs, they come, and then they die, and then they come back from a past life. Go fucking figure. Let's talk about orgasms. Because after you've had dinner, one must delight in dessert. Don't y'all think? Practicing sex magic. The sexual act is possibly the most potent and pleasurable gateway to the primordial and the divine. From the tantric mysteries of Hinduism and Buddhism and the inner alchemy of Taoism to the tradition of Western magic and witchcraft, sex pervades the highest and most secret teachings all over the world. I got this from BC Learning Rituals. 5 easy steps of sex magic. You have to set a goal. See, I know these things already, but I'm trying to make it as, as layman as I can. For those of you, whatever. Do what you do. I don't. What actually do you want to achieve with your sex magic? Your goal can be any material attained, like a new job, prosperity, and business affairs, a pleasant house, whatever. Deeply desired wishes create the strongest magic. For example, 1. Your goal can be healing of yourself, another person, Mother Earth. 2. Your intent can be improvement of an existing relationship or attraction of a new one. 3. You may wish to further develop several qualities in yourself or create an excellent artistic piece. 4. You may wish to embrace the inner love and establish a stronger connection with your higher self. Yes. 5. You may wish to charge an amulet, talisman, or a magical tool. Now, let's prepare. But before we prepare, if you're trying to attract somebody and it's like Janet Jackson or some shit, let it go. There's delusional and there's practical. Okay. Now let's prepare. Prepare your workspace, y'all. Get on the floor and bed, whatever y'all need to do. Clean the space where the ritual will take place. Decorate it with candles, incense, flowers, gemstones, or anything else you can find appropriate. If you use symbols or other pictures, make sure you can see them during the ritual. If you wish to play music, don't forget to put it on repeat button, baby. Because your hands might be busy already, right? Close the door and lay the phone off the hook. Who has a fucking landline still? If you do, may the universe bless you. Basically, turn off your cell phone. That's what I'm trying to say. Are you drawing on the energy of a deity, a god or a goddess, or giving praise to a god or a goddess? If so, set up this now, either in your mind or on your altar. Let's go to the ritual, y'all. Now, you are ready to perform the ritual. Now, there are 2 main routes to preparing for sex magic. One with emphasis on the affirmation, mantra, word, or power, and one with the emphasis on visualization. I will fuck up this word. I just know it already. Visualize. Then create something that makes it possible to laser-like concentrate on your goal, intent during the ritual. This can be a short affirmation. During the ritual, you can repeat the whole affirmation. This can be a visualization of the new created reality. It can be a drawing of what you want. It can be a symbolic representation of your desire, like a suitable tarot card, rune, sigil, astrological, or other symbols. If you prefer working with a visualization, 1. Start with visualizing very vividly the new reality. See yourself in the feel your happiness. Feel your happiness about it. Visualize it as bright and detailed as you can. 2. When your visualization is complete to your idea, tell your mind that this is your focus. Then mentally store it in your subconsciousness. Start making love with your partner or masturbating. No longer thinking about the visualization, because it's time to get it on. At the brink of orgasm, back off. Recall your visualization and add breath to your orgasmic energy in it. So just like breathe it and just, not that I'm, just trying to help you. I know everybody knows how to breathe, but people are funny. They ask weird shit. Bathe? What do you bathe with? Water. What kind of water? Where do I put the water? So, you have to be like, A, B, C, D. You got to do that for people. 5. Continue. I probably skipped 4, but I said 4, but I didn't skip it because I was saying breathe. 5. Continue the rhythm of arousal and backing off several times. 6. Just before orgasm, recall the visualization from your mind and breath. Channel your orgasm into it. Now, y'all need a power word. The idea behind it is that your subconsciousness now knows your full intent. Therefore, it is sufficient to only repeat your magical word during the ritual. Here's a tip. If you choose to work with an affirmation, 1. Arouse yourself and or your partner by any sexual activity you wish to use until you almost reach orgasm. Meanwhile, keep on repeating the affirmation or mantra. You can say it out loud or repeat it silently. 2. When you are at the brink of orgasm, back off by stopping all genital stimulation, stopping all pelvic movements, and relax the muscles in the pelvic floor. 3. Breathe deeply and concentrate even more on your mantra. After a while, build up more excitement. Back off again, just before the point of no return. This way, you build up a great amount of sexual, magical energy and deep erotic sensation. You may reach a state of sexual trance. After several times coming close, you wish to sweep all of your intent, this is for y'all, into the universe. Let orgasm happen. And here comes the most important part. Keep on affirming during orgasm with full mental concentration. Call out loud your magical word or words. Don't mind the neighbors. They don't pay the fucking bills. Do what you need to do. 5, take care. If you lose focus during orgasm, you will have had great sex, but no magical ritual. So you'll be able to bust a nut, but you won't be able to bust a magical nut. If that makes sense. A magical ritual nut. Maybe a magical nut. If you know how to orgasm. Not a lot of people can orgasm. I didn't even do the statistics on that. But basically, I did that in a show before about, the fact that a lot of us are running around here screaming. I'm not going to do that because my voice is already the way it is. And there are people out here just pretending to orgasm. You cannot live this way. You just can't. You have to be like, it didn't work. It didn't happen. You have to be honest. You're talking about orgasm. I don't know why my shit's not manifesting, because you're lying. You didn't orgasm. Learn to orgasm. Learn yourself. Learn your body. Get in tune with it. You know what I'm saying? Do that shit. But it's your body, not mine. I know what I'm doing. 6, continue the ritual until both or all. What the fuck is all mean? Is that like an orgy? Anyway, when your partners have reached, when both partners, I'm so sorry because I saw all and then I was like, left. When both partners have reached orgasm, you can use a combination of the above. Some words about orgasm. Let's talk about orgasm. You want to learn more about it? If you are a woman capable of having multiple orgasms, God bless your soul and all the universe. Okay? Because some people can't even achieve one. But for you to do multiple, girl, there's a series of orgasms quickly after one another, like bang, 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 or like pew, 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 or like a Uzi. I'm so extra, but y'all know what I mean. Just enjoy. Have them during the ritual, and it ends with the final orgasm. So that's when you should kind of say your power word or think your visualization or, all those things. Now, if you're a man, here's the good news, that men can learn to have multiples too. Okay, all right. Before the point of no return, several times men can experience all the feelings of an orgasm without having any ejaculation. Y'all heard me. Some men have a series of small orgasms. Some men experience them as bigger orgasms. I have never said the word orgasm so much in my fucking life. Whoa. If you can do this and end the ritual with final orgasm, the ejaculation, that'll be dope, right? But not all men know that most women need clitoral stimulation to reach orgasm. Although there are erotic areas in the vagina, most women need the pressure of the pubic bone of their partner against the clitoris or stimulation by hand during intercourse to have orgasm. I'm not going to repeat it because I had repeated something about clitoris from before. But yeah. After orgasm, you may wish to confirm your magic with the words, "So mote it be." Or you don't have to say that. I don't want you to feel like a witch. This is natural. You can just give thanks to your God or your goddess. And don't forget your fucking partner. It's almost like winning an award. You get up there, you get your Emmy, your Oscar. You just grab it and walk off the stage. You thank fucking people. You thank somebody, even if it's a God, right? You're just like, thank you. You get your Grammy and you're like, I want to thank, numero uno, whatever. And so you should thank your partner. Couldn't happen without them. Even though, you got it. It's from within. It's an inner standing. It is important, by the way, to stay close the first minutes after intercourse with your genitals close together. There are two reasons for this. One, when having sex, your chakras open up, and after orgasm, you're completely open with part of your energy swirling around you. Y'all know that feeling, right? You need some time to recollect it and get energized again. If one partner rushes away after orgasm, you can feel very disappointed, lonely, and exhausted because of this reason. So this is why you can't just be like fucking anybody. Do you get what I'm saying? When you fuck somebody, you're like, oh, I fucked, I'm out. You're wasting energy. It's bad enough that energy harvesting us. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. In a few years, we're going to find out we're like fucking hamsters on a fucking wheel. Especially when we're fucking like rabbits. 2. After sex magic, the sexual fluids of a man and woman are charged with their magical intent. They can etherically absorb this power for their well-being and health through the vaginal walls and the head of the penis. It may be clear that when you use a condom, it is very unwise to stay close together with your genitals. The charged sexual fluids can be used to charge an amulet or talisman by smearing some of it on them. In case your ritual was for gaining money, you can smear it on a coin or paper money you had put on your altar. In sex magic, the charged sexual fluids have become the sacred elixir of life and are in no way dirty. If, however, you are carrying a sexually transmittable disease, it is best to skip this. You shouldn't be fucking anybody if you have a STD. you should be at your doctor figuring out what the fuck happened. When you are doing sex magic alone, please know that your sexual fluids form a complete sacrament. Although they now contain one polarity, not two. People will collect sperm in a small plastic container and use the sperm for spells and rituals at a later date. Don't forget to put the sperm in the fridge, y'all. And don't forget, end the ritual with a banishment. See, the heightened energy of your ritual may have attracted astral beings, y'all. Make sure to keep them at a distance by reconfirming your banishment. I hope this works for whoever needs this. Please, no hanging yourself. There's ways to come without dying. That's all I'm saying. You've been listening to Cindy. This is the hour on the Wake Up Radio. Shout out to Ra on the boards. Next up is For the Black People. I love y'all.
I've been everywhere, man, looking for you, babe.